It's a perfect situation to make musical sounds.
Hello, welcome to Fabric Friday. Flat felled seam. I've got two scrap bits of the denim fabric here to show you because I'm not doing this method, but this is a method that it seems to want on the pattern. So you put them wrong sides together. You need to allow a good seam allowance for this. You get your fabric, open it out, and yes, your seam is there on the right side, but what you do now is you get your scissors and you trim one of the seams down. Basically cutting it in half. So that bit is waste. Now you open it out again, you've got your two seams there. You fold one, the longer one that you haven't cut down, you fold it in half and then fold it over to cover the smaller seam allowance. Now this is a bit fiddly. This is one reason why I'm not doing it. And then you put it back under your machine, grab your needle, make sure you've got it right, and sew on the very edge. Keep making sure it's all tucked in. And there is your flat felled seam. It gives you a very good strong seam, and on both sides you have no raw edges. Now it's possible to do it, but I think it's going to be bulky and I'm doing it a different way. Now I've done one of the fronts and I've done it my different way, and you can see it looks more or less identical. So also to do that, you do have it showing, but we needed a serger to do this. So, but on the bought one, this is how they're doing the flat fold seam. So that's one front. The other front, I have sewn them together on with the wrong sides out, so the right sides are together, how we would normally do it basically. When I'm making clothes, I have my serger here next to me, next to the sewing machine, so I'm not faking around. But as I said, sewn the seam, right sides together. Now we just put it under and we overlock the edge. You can see where my notches were, but the serger will cut those off for me. if you haven't got a serger overlocker, you could do a close zigzag on your machine just down the edge. We'll do this other one as well. Now, on the wrong side of your work, just turn the edge over and sink your needle right in the very edge of it. You can do this from the front and feel, but you can definitely see it this way. And just stitch all the way down. Make sure you pull your work apart so it'll lie flatter. Now that gives you one row of stitching down there. So just put it back under your machine with the right side facing out, and now you can just run a top stitch all the way down that seam. Try and get it as straight as you can do. And that's how it turns out. I hope you can make this out. See, you can, as I said, you can do it from the top. You don't have to turn it over. So, what I like to do if I'm doing it from the top, I stick my needle in right next to the seam, make sure the seam allowance is going the direction you want, and it isn't going too well. That's it. Sorry about barking. That's the one row of stitch, and we do it again, just feeling where the seam allowance is. Now, I don't think this is as good because I can't see it too well. Well, can't see it at all. And there it is, with them done from the top. So that, to me, is an easier way. although you're stitching the seam, serging the seam, and then doing 2 rows of top stitching, it's a lot more easier than this one, which is stitch the seam, cut, fold, and do a line of stitching. So actually these seams are going to be stronger because of how we've stitched them. Yeah, and just check that your stitching that you did from the front side has caught it down, which it has. So that's 2 ways of doing a flat felled seam. Thank you. Bye.
It's a perfect